Hi, I'm Isaac Hotz, and this is my wife.
Ann Hofer.
And we're both physicians at Hospital Loma in Honduras.
I'm a family practice physician, so I see patients in the clinic, in the ER, and I tend deliveries and do C-sections.
And I'm also a family practice physician, and I also work in the ER, do C-sections and tend deliveries, and also do a little bit of anesthesia.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here with Ann and Isaac Hotz. They are both family practice physicians serving here at Loma Hospital in Honduras. And we just wanted to get with you guys and ask you a couple questions about what you do here. We have we've been able to follow you around for a couple days, and it was pretty fun to do that. I really enjoyed getting to see you guys work, especially together. I thought that was kind of cool. That you got to do some of your work together as a team. That was neat. But how long have you been down here now?
Just coming up on 4 years at the end of this year.
We came January 2015.
And how did you tell me a little bit about the story how you got here? You were post-residents, right, from Samaritan's Purse?
Yeah, we came as post-residents for our first 2 years and then transitioned into the Christian Health Service Corps.
But actually, Isaac came years before that, when he was a missionary in Honduras doing non-medical things before medical school, and he went and saw the hospital when they had their first inpatient. So what year was that in?
2003.
So he knew about it before we...
Wow, yeah, that was 2003 was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah, that's awesome. So every mission field is a little different. Everybody, there's always going to be unique challenges to different places. Maybe you can share just some of your challenges coming to the mission field as a young family. Now you have 3 little ones here, right? What's that been like?
When we came, we had 2 little ones. Our second child was 6 months old when we came, and our first child was 2 years old. And we have really spirited children, so we have had, since we both work, have had some difficulty just achieving a good balance of how much work to do and how much to be at home, especially for me. So right now I'm at a good balance where I'm doing 2 days in the clinic and 3 days at home. And then finding nannies or people to stay at home with the kids when we're both at work has been a challenge, but we've found a couple of good ones right now, so that's good. Yeah. What do you think?
I think definitely children on the mission field is definitely one of the largest challenges. I also think, I think one of the hardest things for both of us is just being away from family. I think that's pretty much a common theme amongst all missionaries is just being away from family. We had Gideon, our youngest child, here. My parents weren't able to be there at that time, and
or my parents, because there was rioting in the country. But they came right afterwards.
My sister's been married when I was away. I got married while I was away. She had her baby while we were here, and both of my grandparents had their funerals while we were away, and weren't able to get back, and we were in various stages of being on the mission field. So certainly I think the hardest part is, looking backwards, definitely you still just come back to being away from family, no matter where you're at. It's just, that's the hardest part, I think.
That being said, our families do come quite a bit. They don't even get introduced as visitors anymore when they come, because everybody knows them.
I remember, actually, I think the last time I was down here, they were here. One of your families was here. I forget which one.
Yeah.
But
They come
awesome.
at least twice a year.
Oh, good. Well, that's kind of the nice thing. You're not halfway around the world. This is a place of great need, but you're still relatively close to the States. That makes it a little easier. What? Tell me this. What do you think have been your greatest blessings here on the field?
Well, like you mentioned earlier, I really enjoy being able to work with Isaac in the hospital. It's just a really special thing to be able to attend to people and help heal people and work with your spouse. And we've been able to share some really hard cases together and see people be healed, see God's hand at work while we're working together. So I've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I mean, Maddie's our oldest daughter's, been able to go down to the ER with us, and occasionally we'll see a patient and ask us questions, things that would never happen in the United States. And we get to talk to her about, real diseases and problems, and she's introduced to things that happen in the world that I think maybe other kids are not introduced to. And I think the blessing here is just, just clearly seeing the work of the Lord and just seeing Him go above and beyond what we feel would likely happen on our own. I think that sometimes I'm pretty real. I'm a realist, and sometimes as a realist I get pegged as a pessimist because I think I try to be very straight, even keeled, and call it as it is. Okay, this is what I really think is going to happen. And I think coming here, it's been really challenging to me because what I think, very logically this should happen, and then people are healed and things that happen that I didn't expect, and it's definitely just taught me that that the Lord, His Spirit comes and goes, and He does what He wants, and when He wants to make His name known amongst the people, He's very able to do it with or without us. So.
Yeah, that's true. I remember the young girl with dengue that you had on the event for how long, and I think when you see people with ARDS, you just don't expect them to really make a full recovery, but she was one
Especially
of your miracle
here.
stories. Yeah.
She was one of, she was 14 days on the ventilator and had 3 or 4 pneumothoraces and power outages, and we went through so much. And I mean, at one point, her family, they bought her casket to bury her because they thought for sure that she was going to die the next morning, and they were ready to let her go. And the Lord just kept. There were so many points where I think every one of us at some point was ready to give up too. We were all ready to give up, and then one of us would come in and have a lifted spirit, and we'd say, "Okay, we'll keep trying," and we kept through it all, and she's still alive today.
That's awesome. So, you guys have been out here for a few years. You did the post-residency through World Medical Mission, then you transferred to us at Christian Health Service Corps. But so you've got a little experience across the board. What advice would you give a new missionary family going to the field?
New missionary family.
I can go.
Yeah, let me think.
All right. Because I thought about it.
Okay.
So my advice would be, one is that to start with the end in mind, and I think that one of the problems that it seems like I've seen and heard about from other people who are more experienced than me, and today is that there's so many missionaries that go to the field, and they're coming back sooner than maybe they had planned for or had hoped for, or everyone had hoped for, and there's so much investment to get people sort of started on the field and language training and all these things, and they finally get to the field, and if they're not able to make it, then it's kind of it's sad, and various reasons why that happens. But I think starting with the end in mind, starts with your planning and where you choose to go and where you see yourself fitting in. And so I think that looking at making sure of your calling, knowing where you feel you're called, is important. And I think every place has a different feel to it. And so, I mean, I think, like you have to find a place that you feel like you're going to survive and thrive as a family or as an individual, not just with the short term in mind. You want to go get it?
Okay, so we're back, and now we have Gideon with us too.
That's right.
So that's awesome.
He's actually Honduran. He was born here, so.
Wow. Yeah. That is awesome. That also gave me some panic attacks when I found out you were planning to deliver him here, but that's okay. But he looks really great and seems to be doing really well.
Yeah.
The last question we had that your husband answered pretty well, but you may have some insight into, which is advice for new missionaries.
For my thoughts were what I worried about a lot coming here, and still sometimes do, is for my children, what are they missing out on, and am I being unfair, depriving them of the opportunities they could have had in the States, like, for example, ballet classes or music classes or going to the library and checking out books. I worried about that a lot. And after being here for 4 years, what I can say is my kids are really happy and they don't miss the things that I had growing up that I was worried about not giving them. And they have wonderful experiences that I never had. So they love climbing the tree out in the front yard. They love seeing the monkeys crossing in the front yard between the different parts of the jungle. And yeah, they're just really happy children and happy to be here. So I think if any mothers out there are worried about that kind of thing, then maybe just pray and try and give it to God and know that children are really resilient and adapt well to places and will probably be doing great.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time out to do this. I know it's been a long day for you. You were in a surgical case all day, and you got a C-section and all kinds of stuff going on, so it's getting late. I'm going to let you put your little one back to bed, but thank you so much.
Yeah, our pleasure.